Hey, what's up, guys? Tukey here, back again with another episode of Draft to Glory Goon Squad, and let's get right down to business because we have to make up for a little bit of lost time to begin this episode. Of course, I checked with you guys at the end of the last one to see what we should do, to see what you think we should do with the prospects that we just drafted. So we have to go ahead and try to resign everybody, and then we get to worry about simming through the next season, which we know will go incredibly poorly. So let's see if we can bring everyone back. Now, typically, I'd like to try and let everybody go and then continually bring back the worst players possible. Problem with that is I noticed that our team chemistry is so poor right now that I think if I were to let go of certain players, I would be relatively screwed when it comes to the team chemistry, and I honestly think most players wouldn't sign with us. So we're still going to have to hold on to guys like Ben Sherratt and Luke Shen, which was not a part of the plan whatsoever. But we basically have no choice if we're going to make this happen. So we'll see if they are both willing to accept near max contracts to make sure that we at least have that maneuverability with the cap space. Otherwise, we could get stuck with them actually playing on the NHL team, which is not a part of the plan. They're just going to, suffer in the AHL for a decent amount of time because we basically have no other option. So, of course, the good thing is, regardless of who plays at the NHL level, I mean, even if Shen were to play, and even if Ben Sherratt were to play at the NHL level, it's not like they're good enough, as we're going to give Dalton Galley the bump there in terms of salary. It's not like our team would still be half decent. Our goaltending is awful. Despite not having as bad of a team as we may have had at the beginning of the original Draft to Glory, it's still bad enough that we are always going to be the odds-on favorite for the number one overall pick heading into the draft lottery. Whether or not we win that, on the other hand, of course, is a different story, as we witnessed in the last episode. But I'm still happy with the prospects that we have ended up with. I feel like they fit the Goon Squad mold, particularly the handful of enforcers that we ended up with. I love that some of these guys have the audacity to ask for 3-year contracts. Like, you are not Big Reg. Very few of you are Big Reg. By the way, I wonder if Eric Tangradi were to go to the open market, would he actually find, a job with another NHL team? Would he get a contract offer? Did we help revitalize his career? That is my question. On the other hand, we have Tanner Glass, who only plummeted in terms of overall. Pretty sure we're not going to revive his career. Pretty sure the Anaheim Ducks are going to be where careers go to die for the next couple of seasons, as, boy, sending out all these contract offers is a lot of fun. Just so much fun. But, it gives me the time to kind of bring you up to speed on what we're doing here, what the plan is for the episode, and such. I should say, though, as far as the players that we drafted, the plan is to send everyone except the enforcers to the AHL. The enforcers will get to play at the NHL level. A lot of you seem to feel as though that was the best way to go about things, and I tend to agree. That way we get to see whether or not players develop better at the AHL level or if they just immediately play in the NHL. I think, though, being 20 years old, Dalton Galley would technically be eligible to play in the AHL. So there's a lot of different things we could do. Oh, boy. All right, so we have our first player reject the contract. Pitton doesn't want to be here. Peters accepted. Racine. Musico declined. Sestito declined. Wow, this is bad. Oh, this is bad because I just sent out max deals. That's why I was making sure I sent out max deals. This team is still... We're still facing a mutiny here, guys. Oh, no. We just might have to look at bringing in the worst players possible instead of bringing back all goons. Tanner Glass rejected, and I sent him a max deal, so I'm sorry, guys. There goes the option of having Tanner Glass be our captain. There's going to be no way I can bring him back. Quite a few players just rejected, and there's no way I can send them anything else money-wise. I sent the max deal to basically everyone. The only guys I wanted to check with were guys like Cedric Paquette, who could still get max contracts to take up cap space. So that's what I'm going to do, actually. Let's bring back Dennis Weidman, and we're going to give him 14 million bucks or so. And we're going to do the same for Cedric Paquette for this season. Actually, hold on. What did we have? $30 million in space? Oh, yeah, so we're good. We can send him 14. Send him just under 15 mil, and then there you go. We won't have to worry about cap space, but all of these players here who just rejected their contract offers, they got to go. I can't offer them any more money, so we're going to have a decent bit of roster turnover here that I wasn't exactly planning for, and this could really complicate the idea of only having goons on this team to begin with. Like I said, depending on what free agents are available, if they don't fit the bill, we're just going to have to go for signing the worst players possible. And as it is, I did see that members of the team were unhappy about Tangradi not coming back. Thankfully, it stopped there because it could have gotten a whole lot worse. So let's see. How many contracts do we have right now? 22. Right. Goaltenders, we have 3 goalies signed. Defensemen, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's it. And then for forwards, it doesn't really matter. We can just max it out from there. So, we need 2 goaltenders. 2 goaltenders, a handful of defensemen, and then a ton of forwards. This could be a problem. Let's figure out what we can do. So with goaltenders, first and foremost, now we could just sign the worst overall guys, but considering they have potential, that's something I like to avoid. So Pitton wouldn't come back. Olkinuora, who used to be in the Jets minor league system, maybe he'll be willing to sign. And we'll go for this guy as well. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. And no, I'm not going to comment on his appearance. There we go. For defense, who do we have available to us? If we go by the physical ratings. Whoops. Physical, please. Thank you. Zdeno Chara doesn't quite fit the bill. Jared Tenorti's there. Stu Bickle declined. I could go and sign someone like Jared Tenorti, but I want to see if there are lower guys. Sasunov's still 20 years old. You have McWilliam, McDermott. I might have to settle for signing 74 overall guys. Breen was here last year. This could be tough. Luke Witkowski. Can you please sign with this team? That would be a gigantic relief. We're not going to bring in Andre Padan. I'll try to bring in Jacob Megna. Hopefully he won't improve too much. I don't think it'll at least be by a difference-making amount. Brodeur was here last year. McNeil was. I think this is Tommy Hughes. It is. I'd have to sign into an entry-level deal, but we'll try. Again, there is no guarantee that the offers I'm sending out right now will actually be accepted. This whole we're not happy with the team chemistry thing could 100% backfire on me. And it's something I didn't really plan for. So, yeah, let's see how this pans out, shall we? Let's take a look here. Summerby. Who else do we got? Brian Lashoff. 71 overall for Brian Lashoff? Really? Is that EA's doing, or is he just declining like Tanner Glass was? As far as forwards go, Ryan Reeves. Now, here's the thing. A lot of you wanted me to trade for Ryan Reeves. I'll send him an offer. This is the one time, just because, again, I know we're going to be a bad team to begin with. We can afford to have a little bit of fun with it. Let's go ahead and bring in Ryan Reeves. All right, let's just have a little bit of fun with it. Again, I'm not going to sit here and try to sign Mark Stone. There's a big difference between trying to sign like a Mark Stone and just having a little bit of fun and signing Ryan Reeves. It's not going to be a gigantic difference maker for this team. Peluso we can't bring back. Jacques we can't bring back. Jared Bowl would also not come back. Eric Bolton. I could try to sign Jordan Tutu. He's a little bit better than who I'd actually like to bring in, but he's still on a two-way deal. You know what? I'm going to send an offer to Jordan Tutu just because we're a little bit desperate at this point. And there's a really good chance, again, that he's not going to want to come back anyway. Cody McLeod will pass on. Anton Bleed. We will avoid Mike Brown and his incredible mustache. Why not? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. We'll see if he signs. Clune won't come back. Martinson, we know Tanner Glass won't come back, which is unfortunate. I think this is Ben Thompson. It'd be a entry-level deal, but that's okay. Jordan Nolan. Why not? Again, I'm not necessarily looking for like the lowest overall of players at this point. I'm still going to try to avoid some higher overalls, but we are a little bit desperate here. Gilmore? Adam Gilmore. Sure, why not? Just don't improve by too much, please. We've sent out 14 contracts already. Pierre Cedric Labrie. Did we have him signed last year? I don't think we did, so at least he would be a new face. Nilsson. Jacob Nilsson. 75 for fighting skill, but he is a bit of a goon attribute-wise, so we'll look for that. Again, when it comes to free agents, it's like, oh, he's a two-way, I'm not going to take him. Like, no, he's a physical player at the very least. It would make more sense for him to be listed as a grinder anyway. Mishinter, we'll bring him in. Beggars can't be choosers. This guy right here, is he the Kings prospect? He is. 6'7", by the way. Absolutely. If we can bring this guy in, that would be tremendous. Matt Bolesky. Nick Mutri. Maletta, and we'll try to avoid him. Joseph Labat. I'm not sure. Dalton Smith, sure, and I believe that's Colton Hargrove coming up. Again, I didn't expect to have to do this. I thought it was going to be, hey, just resign everybody and then smooth sailing. That was not the case. You never know when you kind of screw around with franchise mode how it's going to come back to bite you in the ass. So let's see if these players accepted. Ben Thompson is here. Hargrove, okay, thank God all of these players except for Labrie have accepted so far. Okunora declined. Both goalies declined, really. Mishinter, Nolan, Witkowski, Tutu. Oh my God, we are in trouble. Ryan Reeves accepted, though. A team that's destined for a good run in the playoffs. Ryan, I'm sorry. I know when you were traded for a first-round pick that people, said, wow, Pittsburgh, they're delusional for giving up that much. Apparently that's carried over to you, is what I'm trying to say. If you think we're going to make the playoffs within the next decade, probably not. How many contracts do we have at this point, as we weren't able to sign everybody? We're only up to 30. Oh, God, this is a problem. We still only have 3 goalies signed, so I'd prefer to get 2 more. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 11, 12. I'd still prefer to get a couple more defensemen. So a couple more defensemen, 2 goaltenders, and a couple more forwards. This is, what, at this point, I think I just have to look for the lowest overall guys, because otherwise we're going to have to sit here and scroll through all the players we just looked at, and that's not going to be too much fun. So for goalies, I'm still going to look here for guys like Summer Hayes, Summer Breeze, let's sign him, hopefully, and this dude, Brage, yeah, whatever your name is, let's sign him up. What's your full name? Axel Brage, depending on how French you are. His name is Axel, though, so I hope he signs. That's badass. Defense, let's go for this dude because he's garbage. It's the only reason. Barry Goers, why not? Sick goatee. Weston, we'll hope that they sign. And then for forwards, again, we're not even looking for goons at this point. We can't afford to. We just need to get this roster sorted out and to working condition because I can't afford to have the game sign players for me, because I don't know if it would actually sign players that are a bit too good for what we're looking to do. That would kind of be a disaster if it signed, like a bunch of 80 overall players. So let's just keep sending out the 1-year deals here. I don't think we've ever had this problem with it, with us struggling to sign players because of our team chemistry. Like, what the hell? All right, so that would bring us up to, what, 45 contracts? If I'm not mistaken, we were at 30. If I'm not losing my mind, I think I'm losing my mind. Hopefully the season sim goes quick here, but again, you never know when you're going to get a curveball from this mode. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the hell am I supposed to do? What the hell am I supposed to do? EA, you want to explain to me how I'm supposed to sign people here? Because I honestly don't know. What did I break the mode already 1 year into our first attempt? All right, who am I allowed to sign at this point then? I guess we'll just go for the lowest overall guys that are coming out of junior. So we'll go for this dude and CC. At this point, like I said, I just need to be able to sign whoever I possibly can. A lot of these guys, well, here, we'll go for this dude. Actually, didn't I send him an offer? I don't know if I did. I think I sent him an offer. We'll go for Demirs. And this dude, Huss, Eriksson, and Castengway. Why not? And then for forwards, again, let's just bring in whoever we can. Michaud, Manso, or Mansao, who knows? Curtis, Barger. I thought it said Banger for a minute, and I'm like, that is a tremendous name. We got this dude. So many guys from the QMJHL that you would never see otherwise. All right. Let's see. 2 more. Let's send out 2 more guys. We got Kusal and Girard. Let's hope that they all sign, because this is starting to become a problem. I'm sure most of you are going to be wishing that there was a jump cut. Maybe I would have left something on screen saying, hey, jump to this time. Kusal signed. All right, I think we're good. There we go. That was our workaround. It's just signing players out of junior who are shitting themselves at the fact that they actually got an offer from an NHL team. So that worked out well. But yeah, maybe I would have left a timestamp on the video at some point, just being like, hey, a lot of bullshit happens. Skip to this point right now when I'm talking right now to actually get to the point where we're going to move on. So we have 45 contracts. We should be good. Let's progress to the preseason. As far as who our captain's going to be, it might have to be Dalton Galley now. It might just have to be. Not to mention, I mean, we would actually have space for Anderson McDonald, but I think we're going to stick to playing him in junior this season. We shall see. But we did sign Ryan Reeves, who led the league last year in penalty minutes. Let's hope he can keep that up. Although, you watch, he'll now think that he's a goal scorer, especially, too, considering he thinks that we're going to make the playoffs. Although, if anybody could carry a team on their back, literally, not figuratively, it would probably be Ryan Reeves. So we'll see what happens. We'll set captains in a minute, because this isn't entirely set. Luke Shen is actually our captain right now. Tremendous. Let's go to roster moves. We still have very poor team chemistry, which, honestly, what scares me the most now is if we don't have a way to turn that around and we potentially lose players that we've drafted. That is a very scary thought for me and would be devastating for this series. We don't know how it's going to play out, but there is a chance that maybe the Goon Squad idea won't work out just because of how low the team chemistry ends up being. But Galley, Ball, and Alcock are all going to play at the NHL level this year. We're going to take these 3 out. And let's put in... who's the biggest Goon right now? We actually can't search it from here. Let's see. From Yavenko and up, who has the best fighting skills? 78, 83, 81, 83, 81. All right. So we'll go for Ruop, Siemens, and Eddie Wachow. Got to go for Wachow just because of the name. There we go. So that's going to be our defense this season. It's going to be great. And then for the AHL, of course, Anderson McDonald won't make it. Roberts won't make it, and we'll see. We'll see how Reginald Chung develops. Just because he's such a low overall, we'll see how he develops. So I think we're good. I'm going to send down Cedric Paquette, but Ryan Reeves will be allowed to stay. And actually, you know what? Because of that reason, I am going to call up Chung. And there we go. We at least now have all Goons. And Cedric Paquette won't be allowed to play. Unless there's an injury, in which case I'll call up Cedric Paquette just to keep it simple. But as far as our starting lineup, this is what we got. And if we do, the second we have to call up Cedric Paquette, I'll probably just send Chung back down to the AHL. So we will see what this team is capable of. Let's just stay with best lines because it's pretty much going to be that way all season. We'll let Justice get some game time in. And as far as the AHL lines go, I mean, of course, there's a lot of unsigned players there. That's just going to be the case throughout this season. So we're pretty much good to go. There was another comment saying I should just let the game handle scouting. And for that, or, to that, I don't necessarily disagree. Because, I mean, what are we going to find out about enforcers? That they actually suck? But let's take a look. First and foremost, we need to see if there are any enforcers in the upcoming draft. That is the first question that we need answered. So let's go ahead and take a look. Because from there, we will, of course, focus on just getting whoever we can, the best guy for the job, who also kind of fits the description of being a goon. If they're a defensive D-man, but they're like 5'11", I'm still probably going to avoid them. But if they're 6'5", then yeah, we're probably going to pick them up. And there are no enforcer D-men in the upcoming draft. Let's go for right wings. I know I accidentally changed it to rest of world. Do we have any enforcers? They would be at the top of the list. We have some grinders, including Cole Purbu and Baron Thompson. Nice. Do we have any enforcers, though? We have one, Josh Acoin. We'll pin him to the watch list. So we'll scout U.S. forwards. And he is the only enforcer in the upcoming draft, is Josh Acoin. All right. Projected to be undrafted as well. So as far as, let's look at goaltenders first and foremost. Two goalies projected in the first round, Nicholas Arvidsson and Tobias Forster. I'm still not going to worry too much about this, although if we do scout goalies, it would help with maybe finding a steal in the later rounds. Larry Estrada, Riley Bachman, Derek Flynn, and Terry Dodge. I mean, there's one defensive D-man there, but like I said, 6'1", no guarantee that he's going to fit the mold of an actual goon. Right wings. Actually, here, let's just search all skaters really quickly. So there was Flynn. No power forwards projected for the top 10. That is a bit of a disaster. There's no one over 6'2". So this is going to be tough because we're going to have to go. I thought that guy's name was Bagel for a second, and I almost lost my shit. Nolan Foote, though, is in the upcoming draft, and you're probably looking at our first round pick when it comes to Nolan Foote. You do have Stu Cutler at 6'3". You also have Paul Thornton as a 6'4" forward, but again, he's a two-way, so I'm leaning against selecting him unless we somehow get him scouted out well enough to see that he's actually a physical player. Rod Vivieros. So yeah, when it comes to scouting, I'm thinking just 2 weeks in each region. I mean, it's not going to make a major difference coming down to draft day. It's just going to be hoping for the best from the looks of it. And maybe, just maybe, the scouting can find us a steal or two. So that's going to be probably the most time-consuming part of the season sim. Let's go 1 week for the forwards and goalies in the rest of world category. Aside from that, we're basically good. Let's just go to the trade block. We'll see who our captain is and all that happy horseshit, and then we'll be good to go. I cannot believe, though, that the team building process took that long. I'm actually somewhat frustrated. And even now when I'm sitting here, I'm like, maybe I should just kind of put in a jump cut or something. But then again, I don't know. Maybe the struggle and the realization that, oh my God, we're kind of screwed here. Maybe that will be entertaining. I don't know. Let me know. For those of you who didn't skip ahead in the video, because I am 99% sure at least half of you will just skip ahead at that particular point until the team's set. For those that didn't, for those that enjoyed the whole thing, was that entertaining in the slightest, or am I just mindful background noise for you as you're playing a game on your own, which you more than likely are, which is fine. That's what I do anyway for the most part. If I'm watching stuff on YouTube, I'm probably playing FIFA at the same time. Because I don't want to, you know what, screw it. I don't want to risk screwing up the team chemistry any more than it already is, but let's just go for it. Dalton Galley. You know what? Galley, Alcock, and Ball are all going to wear A's because Anderson McDonald is more than likely our captain once he gets here, let's be honest. So now, we can move forward. Let's try to get through this season as quickly as possible. I cannot believe it has taken us this long just to get to the point where we're starting to sim in this season. I'm actually going to scout forwards again just because it only did it for a few days. So let's do it that way. We're not going to miss out on too much. And place your bets now. How many games are we going to win this season? I'm going to go with one. One whole victory. That is my guess. Let me know in the comments. Don't lie. But let me know what you thought we would win compared to what we are actually going to. Which again, as we just lost 2 games, 10-0 in the preseason, I'm guessing it's not going to go all that well. 2 weeks in each. Let's go 2 weeks in each, and then 1 for the goaltenders. And we'll hopefully... we're going to miss out on scouting a few regions. Maybe like the Swiss League or the German League will lack a couple of extra prospects in each of these types. We just won our first game of the season already. Are you serious? Chicago. How did we beat you 3-2? Third game of the season, and we already picked up a win. So my guess of 1 victory for this year, it's looking a bit off. Well, for now, it's great. We just have to lose every other game for the rest of this season. How unlikely, or how likely is that? Not very, is what I'm trying to say. We're probably going to hit at least a couple of wins this year, although ever since that win, my God, have we been getting destroyed. Let's go ahead and scout Russian goaltenders for a week just to get hopefully a little bit of info. And as I said in the last episode, really the first 2 episodes, I'm intrigued to see how crazy the draft will be for us. Of course, at the beginning of the year, the draft is already fairly ridiculous with some late round steals and stuff like that. But with whatever they've done to franchise mode since then, particularly in the past few weeks, this series could end up being pretty ridiculous as Tony Turgeon goes down to injury, which is going to more than likely spell the end for Reginald Chung. I'm going to see if I can send him down. Actually, how old is he? He was 18, right? 19. All right, so we should be able to send him down. Let's call up Paquette, and who has the best physical category here? That guy has a 65 in fighting. That dude had a 67. Jared, congratulations. You are not getting called up because we don't have to call you up. I can't even call up... oh my God, I can't call up Paquette because we have... wait, what? Oh, that's right, I still have Chung active. What am I doing? I thought I switched over. I'm losing my mind. I'm actually going to not call up... You know what? Yeah, screw it. Let's just call it Paquette. Nope, never mind. What is going on? Do I have 2 injuries? I have 2 injuries. That's the problem. How did I not notice that? Jesus. Although I'm finding it funny. That's like, oh, you'd still be under the limit. It's like, well, yeah, but I should be able to call up one guy first, should I not? Anyway, that was a bit odd. There we go. The NHL team is fixed. We still have Dalton Galley. Already with 26 penalty minutes. He has a goal, though. So congratulations to Dalton Galley with a goal already. And actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put each guy with a slightly better overall player. I feel like it's a good way to go. Let's go with Galley, Ball, and Alcock on the left. There we go. At least for now. That might be the one thing that I actually pay attention to, is making sure that they're not on the same pair together. So there's at least one person who could make it work. As we have another injury, Ryan Reeves. Tremendous. This is exactly what I wanted to do, was have to sit here and edit this for injuries. Ryan Reeves, toughen up. It's the Goon squad, man. You can't get hurt already. Get out there. Put on the ice pack. I was about to say something else that I'm not going to say. Never mind. Glad I was able to show some restraint there. Anyway, still just one win on the season. Let's go back to the scouting. Of course, as mentioned, despite the slow start to this episode, we will still end up making fairly good time. So I'm feeling good. Although, man, the amount of players who are coming back. I'm mainly intrigued to see how well we do with the player progression for those that went to junior. That is the main thing I'm intrigued by. Ryan Reeves is not happy. Can I send down Chung? I don't even think he'll get to play, though, if we send him down. Let's send down this dude instead, who's actually a healthy scratch right now, and PL3. Let's send those two down, and we should be good. Reggie Chung's back in the lineup. Let's fix this. I'll just do it that way from now on. Beautiful. AHL lines. We'll go best lines. Ben Sherratt, Luke Shen, Dennis Weidman. What a defensive setup for San Diego. They have 5 wins on the year. They're actually bad, like you would expect them to be. Their success, or lack thereof, but their relative success in the first season was definitely not going to continue this year with how many players rejected coming back. Although it's funny, how many of those guys that rejected contracts to come back and more than likely play at the AHL level for us are just sitting on the free agent list now, doing absolutely nothing. Maybe they should have just accepted the fact that they're not going to find work. Like, where's Tanner Glass right now? I mean, the European leagues don't really factor in, so it's not like he's playing for the Belfast Giants at this point. All right, Liga. That might be the right time. All right, so see, there you go. The DEL will go 1 week on both, so we'll make up some time there. We'll still go 2 weeks for forwards and defensemen in Finland. Still just one win, by the way. Still just one win. But because of how long it took to make it through the early part of this episode, I do just want to go ahead and get to the off season. Although, typically, I would go through the off season again, and then we'd begin the next episode at the start of the preseason. I might have to do that. Either that, or we face the same exact issue that we had in this episode. So maybe I'll just end the episode once we've hit the draft, depending on how long this video is at this point, which we're definitely going to hit an hour for this video. So maybe just, off video, I'll go ahead and set up the team for next season, because I have a feeling we're going to run into the same exact issue, and I don't want this video to be an hour and a half. An hour's fine, but an hour and a half, that's a little bit much. So, as we've hit January, still just one win on the year, 8 wins for the San Diego Gulls, who, fair play, have one of my favorite logos. It is tremendous. DEL will go forwards for 1 week. I have a feeling we'll be able to still scout out everything, at least decently. That's always interesting as far as the scouting strategies for what certain people employ. Regardless, I'm not too happy about it. I would prefer, as I've mentioned before, a more FIFA-esque system or even a Madden-esque system. But it is what it is, and you gotta make the most of it, which pretty much resorts to just randomly assigning your scout who will give you inaccurate information. Your scout who can, look at a prospect 12 times but still not get an exact potential for him. that type of stuff. But then you can scout somebody 6 times and have perfectly, you have that exact potential at the draft. Funny how that works, isn't it? Especially when, I've gone over this 1,000 times at this point. We'll avoid the same rant and discussion. Just know that I'm not a big fan of the scouting system. That's all. Oh, let's see. The Czech Extraliga. We're still going to go 1 week for each. And this is where we are going to lose a little bit of the time in terms of steamrolling through the season. Still just the 1 win. I wonder how bad the Blackhawks are. I imagine we'll play them 1 more time this year. We'll have to take a look at their record at that point. I'm going to laugh, though, when it turns out that they're President's Trophy contenders. And we do actually have 4 points total on the year now. The 2 overtime or shootout losses and the 1 win. So congrats to us. We might, and no, we won't. We won't break last year's point total. I can't even remember how we did last season. I wasn't really focused on the season's success, because why would I be? That is an afterthought until we are, God, how many years does it take? 7 picks. I mean, yeah, it takes... Oh, Dalton Galley's hurt. Wow, he's out for the rest of the year. Dalton Galley out for the rest of the year with a separated shoulder. That is a damn shame. Who can we call up instead? You know what? Tommy Hughes is pissed. So let's call him up. Not like anyone else is happy. But we'll call up Tommy Hughes for now, as Ryan Reeves is down to a 76. Chung's up to a 50, though. So that's good, right? And let's go with Hughes. And da-da-da. Perfect. Kevin Ball now on the top pairing. He's a minus 92. He dropped. Wasn't he a 55? Oh, yeah, he is dropping and over. This is bad, man. Can I send him down? Oh, my God. The Goon squad. It's handing us certain curveballs that we weren't exactly expecting. I can't even send him back down to junior. He's going to get pissed about being sent down now, but maybe at the AHL level, he can kind of recover. Like, this is as if you have a player with poor morale, except it's the entire team who is just furious and not happy with how things are going. This is what I was talking about a couple of minutes ago, where I am legitimately concerned that unless we find some way to reverse this theme of players being pissed off because we suck, if there's no way to reverse this, we could actually end up losing an Anderson McDonald in 2 years. It could happen. What we have to hope for is that McDonald in particular gets to like a 78 so that he's not looking for a 2-way deal. And in that way, I can sign him to like a $14 million contract. And I can make sure that he stays. This series could go quite differently than what I was expecting it to. Maybe we should have had webcams so you could see the genuine look of concern and fear on my face right now. Because this is going to be quite stressful as we move forward. There is no guarantee that this series is going to make it the full 25 years. And even if it does, as our goalie broke his collarbone, even if this series does make it the full 25 years, there's no guarantee that we're going to make it anywhere near the Stanley Cup, because we could have the issue of not being able to hold on to players. Everyone on this team is just like furious at what's going on, but it's like, what did you expect? You signed the contract, man. What did you expect? So we might actually have to change up how we do this. I mean, maybe we will have to build it so that there's like a half-decent team, but that kind of defeats the purpose. That's not, that's not what Draft to Glory was supposed to be. It's supposed to be, hey, you are awful, and then you build up through the draft. The problem is I might not have enough time on my hands to build up through the draft. This is going to be interesting one way or another, because either we are going to somehow avoid this disastrous situation, or we are going to be absolutely screwed. It's pretty much the only way to put it, really. So one way or another, Draft to Glory Goon Squad, I have a feeling, will be a memorable series. As, of course, we go back over to the U.S., we'll scout the defense for 2 weeks. As we are approaching the end of the season, will we get that second win, or will we finish with just the one victory? And that is indeed how we finish the season. 179-2. We were awful. Where are the Blackhawks? I'm just going to scroll back to October here. That's right, we can't even see the record at this point. Screw it, we'll check at the end. Let's just get to the whole end of season. We know who won the cup. We'll take a look at the awards and all the stats and everything. So we can do all of that in one shot. And now, more than ever, why was Jack Alcock stripped of his captaincy? What? Because I went best lines, the game stripped someone of his captaincy. That's great from a morale standpoint. The morale system is off, if I'm not mistaken. And if it isn't, then maybe it should be. That might be the only way to make this work. I mean, I'm 99% sure I turned it off because I don't have any... I at least turned the meetings off. I'm fairly certain I turned it off. If I didn't, that could end up being a gigantic mistake. It's pretty much the only way to put it. So, as the only thing we'll have to really focus on here is just assigning the scouting a couple more times before we find out who wins the cup, or who won the cup. Of course, Nashville won it last year. Despite the game crashing, they ended up basically winning the cup twice. So that showed what a solid team they had, even though I can't say I was completely impressed with what their team looked like, but you never know. They might end up going back-to-back here. As we will scout out goaltending. I'm going to have to go 1 week, though, because we are running out of time. To be honest, I shouldn't even be scouting out goaltending at this point. I think I'm going to have to go 1 week for both the forwards and defenders of the O and the Q. Yeah, we only have 25... would be 25% of the schedule. The Vegas Golden Knights have won the Stanley Cup in late May. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of a season wrap-up here. And I'm going to start with arguably the most important thing, that being progress reports for the team. So let's take a look here. We're going to have to scroll down to find the players we care about. Dalton Galley actually didn't improve at all. Noonan ended up recovering to a 58, although he's currently a 56. But again, Dalton Galley, while he improved, he didn't go up in overall. And the other ones were automatically sent down. Anderson McDonald went up 4 points to a 64. Kevin Ball's up to a 57, although right now he appears as a 56. Connor Roberts only went up 1 point to a 54. So we might have to make that choice of actually having them play at the NHL level next year. Alcock went up 4 points to a 54, although he's currently a 52. Reginald Chung is a 53. So clearly, the morale spike is hitting this entire team, with basically everybody being a lower overall than what they should be. How we escape that and how we avoid disaster moving forward, that's a whole nother question entirely, because as it stands, there's no guarantee that I could even go out and sign like a bunch of 78 overall guys and have that help turn things around. So this isn't exactly going to be smooth sailing like I thought it was going to be. We have an entirely different challenge on our hands. As far as goals for per game, of course, we averaged under 1.5 goals for, only scored 117 goals on the season, and we had a much higher goals against per game average. We allowed just under 600 goals on the year. 16% power play, which is better than a couple of teams. Our penalty kill, though, 63.3%. That is horrific. Now we'll look at the individual player stats here as well before getting into the bracket and the awards. Ryan Reeves with 39 points. He was a minus 121. Dalton Galley finished with 17 points, a minus 98, 108 penalty minutes. Jack Alcock with 10 points, also a minus 118, or I shouldn't say also a minus 118, but a minus 118. Despite being an enforcer, only 11 penalty minutes. How does that work? And then Kevin Ball, 6 points, a minus 134. Reggie Chung, 3 points, a minus 83. How are we going to get out of this crisis is all I can think of. Of course, the goaltending was absolutely abysmal. We'll take a look league-wide. Evgeny Malkin with 99 points. You know what? Just look at that on your own time, though, just because this episode has been long enough. The penalty minute king was once again Ryan Reeves. Mackenzie Stewart, Dalton Galley, Cedric Paquette were the top 4, so that's much better. As far as the worst minus in the league, that goes to Duncan Siemens. Yeah, it's probably like Siemens or whatever, but you know what? It's spelled the way it's spelled. He was minus 140. Not good. Let's take a look at the bracket and then the awards. Vegas Golden Knights swept the Carolina Hurricanes in the Cup final. They also beat the defending champ Predators in the conference final in 5 games. The President's Trophy went to Minnesota, but they weren't able to take advantage of that. The Art Ross goes to Evgeny Malkin, as does the Hart for the second year in a row. John Klingberg wins the Norris. Pavelski, the Lady Byng. Alex Nylander takes home the Calder. Jonathan Quick, the Conn Smythe. I guess he is the lead after all. The Vezina goes to Corey Schneider. Vasilevsky, the Jennings. The Masterton goes to Harrison Roap. I think it's Harrison at least. But yeah, congrats on being the worst player in the league. Bergeron wins the Selke. Malkin the Ted Lindsay. And the Rocket Richard. At the AHL level, the Charlotte Checkers, of course, won the Calder Cup. And do we have any personal hardware? As you guys can get a look at the awards, the individual winners here down at this level. And for the second year in a row, we did not win a damn thing. A damn thing. Let's take a look, actually, at the settings before we get into the draft, because that's right, we still have a draft to go. Let's get into the settings. Would it be rules or gameplay sliders? Am I missing something here? Let me just double check. This is loading very slowly, which is honestly concerning. I guess we will just go into settings. We'll go to rules. That we don't have to worry about. I mean, I wanted to double check morale, but again, I'm 99%. So morale meetings are off. But I guess just morale in general, I'm not entirely sure of. And if we didn't turn it off, then hey, we got to deal with it. The funny thing is, the sliders are still the way they are. And for those of you who were watching on stream the other day, you know what I mean by that. As far as I haven't exactly checked the sliders since the beginning of the game with the whole hut slider deal. And even then, we still couldn't win games, so case in point, and it doesn't really affect what happens against the AI. We have 22% locker room chemistry, which is worse than last year. How the hell are we going to get out of this? We have 2 seasons to reverse this, or we risk losing Anderson McDonald. We risk losing Dalton Galley. This could be devastating. Wow, so not only do we have to worry about building this team, but this year as compared to last, locker room chemistry it's just devastating our plans here. We did, however, win the draft lottery this year. Calgary with 2 picks, the 5th and the 8th, and the 3rd. Calgary pick hoarding. And people say when I pick hoard, it's not realistic. I'm just joking, but still, you get the point. No retired players, which is actually a little bit surprising. Sometimes the terrible players will retire. Aginla, Yager, Ribeiro, Patrick Sharp, Nathan Horton, among others, all retire. Let's get to the draft, shall we? Although I do have to clear out the trade block. So for now, my goal here is to just remain calm, remain focused on the task at hand, at still getting the best players we possibly can. From there, we need to focus in this upcoming offseason on how to repair this whole team chemistry deal. And we might have to throw the original Goon squad, the original Draft to Glory guideline out the window to make this work. Again, we ran Goon squad on 17 We haven't run Goon Squad on 18 yet, and this is a hurdle that we didn't have to face previously, and it might be one that we might not be able to overcome, which would be heartbreaking to say the least, because that would mean Draft to Glory might not be possible this year. But we do have the number 1 overall pick. Let's see if we can take advantage of it. Again, Nolan Foote is more than likely the favorite here. Although, a couple of those high elites would certainly be good pickups. We have Flynn, but we know we're not going to take him. So Nolan Foote is there. And as far as the first round goes, he's the only sole first round guy projected to go. He is our pick. Nolan Foote will be the first overall pick in this draft. Let's hope. I don't know what he's rated as at this point either, so this could go poorly, but that is the challenge. He is our pick. Nolan Foote goes first overall. High top 6, which is a solid potential. 57 overall. Not too shabby. He and Anderson McDonald will make for a pretty strong first line in the future, if we can get there. Giordano and High Note were both medium elite, 79 overalls. Ricci was a 75. And from there, it kind of drops off a little bit. Flynn wouldn't have been much better of a pick, to be honest. Estrada and Bachman were both solid, as was Bagel. To the second round we go. Of course, there was only that one enforcer in this draft. I expect to take him with the 7th round pick. We will actually double check. He is a pinned player for us. I at least avoided that mistake. I should have sorted this in a different way. He was a defenseman at least. What the hell? I keep trying to sort it by pinned. There we go. Okay, projected to be undrafted, so that works. This is glitching out right now. And considering we already had this game crash on us in the first episode, I am only slightly panicking. Can you please sort by projected? Game, what are you doing? It's going to crash on me again. Let's just back out really quick. This is going to crash on me again. I feel like the series has become more of, hey, let's see if I can break the game rather than Draft to Glory. All right, so again, we still have our selection here. This draft, we can do whatever we want. There are 2 goalies here, Stanley Goligoski and Matti Mikkola, that we could select. There's also DeFazio, or we could look for the Canadian grinder Simon Grolu, or Simon Grew, I think it would be. There's also the power forward Rod Vivieros. Who else do we have here if we're looking mainly by player type at this point? Kimmo Marjamaki, the Finnish defenseman. I'd be all right with selecting him. And that's going to be it. So we go with the defenseman Marjamaki. We go with the Canadian grinder Grolu. Or Guru. I don't even know. It wouldn't be Guru. That'd be like Benoit Guru. Grolu. I mean, you know that I struggled with Sylvan in rebuilding Hockey Town, so I'm still going to struggle with this now. How big is Sharab? Not big enough, as I almost dropped the controller. Do I go with another goaltender? I might have to. This seems like the time of the draft to take a goalie. Oh, but would we rather go for default? You know what? I'm going to go with my gut here. I still have to end up with great players. I'm going to go for Mikkola. If this game doesn't want to break, what's happening? There we go. Jesus. Mikkola is not the biggest in stature, but that's okay. We're still going to take the Finnish goaltender. Only a medium starter. Better than what we drafted last year, but I guarantee there's a medium elite goalie here. I'd be shocked if there wasn't. Actually, Goligoski was only high fringe. It might not have just been a good year for goalies. I mean, I'm sure at some point, DeFazio wasn't that solid either. It actually just looking like it wasn't a tremendous year for goalies. We ended up with the best one out of that group, which I'm okay with. We could have ended up with somebody else at the start of the second round, but I do want to get the goaltending sorted out now, especially because we are already on pace to lose somebody. Let's see, the two-way and Casper Wright is 6'5" two-way forward. Oh, I'm tempted. So tempted. We also have Steven Crowder here, the power forward. Kasperitis, though. Like, here's the thing. There's no guarantee, though, that as a two-way, the physical category is going to be solid, but that's why I was going to stay with just the player types. I think I'm leaning towards picking Crowder here. We also have the power forward, Ethan Keppen. We're going with Keppen from the Flint Firebirds. We know how good Crowder is. We know how good Keppen is. Is there anybody else? The defensive D-man, Sergei Chistov is there. Another defensive D-man, Pierre Desroches. Oh, we also have a grinder, Lewis Sharp. He might actually be the best pick because we know the other guys aren't that great. Or it's Billy Tokarski. So Tokarski, the grinder, and Sharp. Crowder, I mean, Kasperitis isn't even projected to be that great. I mean, low bottom 6, apparently we didn't scout him out at all. So, I'm leaning, I mean, we know how good Keppen is. It's going to be either Sharp or Tokarski. And low top 9 potential, I'm going to take my risk here. I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to go with my gut, and we're going to take Billy Tokarski with this next pick. And it worked out about as well as every other pick would have. Medium bottom 6, 57 overall. Which, you know, he's at least a body for the team at the moment. That's really the important thing, is just getting players onto this team in the early stages. Parrish would have been half decent. Keppen would have actually been slightly worse. Chistov was medium 7th. Sharp was medium bottom 6 as well. So, yeah, given the circumstances, I feel like we made a half-decent choice. To the 4th round we go. We still have 3 picks before we're taking that enforcer with the 7th round selection. Let's see if we can find a diamond in the rough here. So 4th round, we have this power forward, Tag Bertuzzi, who's actually a real player. Just doesn't have a picture in the game yet. So Tag Bertuzzi is there. You have Primo, who's showing up as high bottom 6. 6'6", 205 power forward Mason Primo. Yeah, I'm sorry to Tag Bertuzzi, but Mason Primo is looking like the pick so far. You also got Lucas Lombardi. Anybody else? Another power forward, and Jussi Vahalati. Or, yeah, would it be? Yeah, I think it would be Jussi Vahalati. Finnish names, man. We also have Alexander Medvedov. But no doubt, Primo is the pick. Yeah, we're going for him right now. The power forward, 6'6", 205 pounds from the Guelph Storm. Mason Primo is the selection. Unfortunately, he's only medium bottom 6, 52 overall. This draft is looking a little bit rough. The alternatives here. Who did we have? Let me know if I just flat out miss somebody. Bertuzzi was the same, and never mind, I don't need you to tell me. Vahalati being low elite, 54 overall. That hurts a lot. That could have been the big time difference maker for us. Low elites, they're so inconsistent with how they develop. Sometimes they turn into great players, other times not so much. Needless to say, I would have enjoyed finding out how good Vahalati was, and unfortunately we're not going to see his development firsthand. Here in the 5th round, Evan Clymer, 6'3" defensive D-man, is an option. It might be best to take a defenseman as well. Ulf Ullmark is there. We got another power forward, and Per Olofsson. Needless to say, we won't be running the scouting strategy for next year. Navrin Mutter. He has to be real. 1,000% he's a real player. There is no way that's computer generated. Not a chance. So I am avoiding him at all cost. Matthew Sampson. I mean, we do have a couple of options here. We also have Graham Brykes. Jesus, some of these names. What the hell, man? Well, it's either we go for Narvin Mutter. What the hell was his name again? Navrin. Jesus. Or we go for Clymer, the defensive D-man who has absolutely no league interest, which makes me wonder, is he actually half decent, or is he garbage? You know, the one thing I didn't do was look at potential and see if we have any exact elites, which I doubt we will, and this is pretty much the reason why I avoided it, because it's going to take forever. Oh my god. Even if he's low elite? Even if he's low elite. We're in the I'm taking him right now. Yuri, listen. Listen? 19 years old. Listen to me. This is going to be a huge pick for us. Even if he's a low elite, he's a grinder. He fits the bill. The Belarusian is our next pick because I don't want to risk missing out on him. Even though we have the first pick of the 6th round, we're taking him right now. Low elite, 56 overall. We have a bit of a draft steal, thankfully. The question is, did I completely screw us over by passing up on someone? Clymer would have been a bit of a disaster for us. Anybody else? Omark wasn't great. Burks wasn't great. Olofsson was decent, low top 6, but we ended up with a better selection. Anybody else? Please? Samson was medium bottom 6. And funny name there is still on the board, which scares me tremendously that he's actually still available. And again, in my opinion, he has to be a human, like he has to be a real player. He has to be with that name, which means I would prefer to end up with someone who isn't a real player. I don't know if Zach Pylon or Pilon is a real player. We have this power forward here, Samuel Whoa, that is not a generated, or that's not a typical generated name either, which is how I'm trying to think of this, because the computer generated players will be the ones who are more likely to be half decent, like Eugene Bowie, but 6'1" doesn't quite fit the bill. Abraham Zanetti, though, is a power forward, so by default, he is eligible. And he's going to be the pick. Now, it's a risk, no doubt. But we're going to go with the American Abraham Zanetti. Yes! There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, ye of little faith. You thought that was going to be a horrible pick. Low elite, 62 overall. We're taking the grinder or the enforcer in the 7th round. I had a feeling that it was going to work out. Pylon would have been a disaster. Whoa would have been a disaster. Mutter would have been a disaster in comparison. We get the low elite forward just by process of elimination from who we could kind of figure out was more than likely a real player, and it worked out tremendously well. The rest of the draft has been a bit rough. I expect this enforcer to be awful, but overall, I feel like we had a half-decent draft here. We at least ended up with a medium starter potential goalie who will hopefully turn into something. As let's go to defensemen before sorting this by pinned players. We ended up with Nolan Foote with the high top 6 potential, and we ended up with the 2 low elite players as well. I don't think we could have asked for this draft to go any better. Is my enforcer gone? I mean, if our enforcer's gone, that sucks, but it would give us another free pick here, so to speak. I think he's gone. I mean, unless it was just freaking out when I was trying to sort it, which wouldn't surprise me given how many players are available here. The game does kind of freak out a little bit. Let's see if he's down here. It was a defenseman. Will he be there? Of course, we have to go basically to the midway point of the bar. He's gone. The enforcer has been picked. I guess I missed that when we were back here. Where the hell is he? He was projected to be undrafted, wasn't he? Well, where the hell is he? Am I wrong that he was a defenseman? Did I not sort it by defenseman? I feel like I'm losing my mind today. Let me call a timeout really quickly. And let's double check this, because I feel like something's off. So let's go. I should have checked to see what league he was in, I guess. So let's go by pinned. Was it a forward and I'm just losing my mind? Let's find out. As it takes forever. It's still sorted by projected. Like, I already hit sort by pinned, and it's still queuing that up. Which is crazy that this game is running that slowly, even if there are that many players. Holy shit, game, please. Can you just sort it by pinned? I would appreciate it. What the hell, man? There we go. Jesus, he was a left wing. All right, so at least I was wrong about that. Josh Coyne, the left wing enforcer. Man, this game is running so awkwardly over the past few days. Medium AHL top 650 overall. Not completely terrible for an enforcer. Overall, in my opinion, a better draft than year one. We have ended up with some decent building blocks to the team, but again, the one challenge moving forward, above all else, will be worrying about the locker room chemistry and how that is affecting the team. So we will end the episode here because I at least need opinions. I need theories on how we're going to overcome this. If you know the answer to it, let me know. But like I said, last year we were already facing players not signing with the team. This year, the same thing is likely to happen. So I am quite concerned about the future of this series as we have Zanetti, Nolan Foote. Actually, here, we'll give you a full look at the attributes. Abraham Zanetti, only 79 durability. Not the most physical player right now either, but still for a 6th round pick, he was a power forward. That is fairly helpful. Nolan Foote as well, not the most physical player, but hopefully that develops. We had Billy Tokarski as well. Yuri Leeson, the Belarusian grinder, and Mason Primo as well, at least had 85 durability. Josh Coyne, only the 75 durability. And then, of course, we also had the goaltender. He's now basically the best goalie on the team, that being Matti Mikkola. So, guys, that will do it for this one. In the next episode, we will hopefully begin to solve what could be, again, a catastrophic series of events for this series. One way or another, we have 2 years to repair that locker room chemistry before we get completely screwed over. And I don't know. I don't know the answer as to what we're going to do to turn this around. But like I said, hopefully one of you has the answer. But yeah, like Dalton Galley right now, disengaged. I mean, the prospects who are on the team in the past year, they're not too happy. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. I thank you so much for the support with the first few episodes for this. It is, of course, appreciated as always. You know what you can do to support the video and the channel beyond, just actually watching the video in the first place, which I thank you for. Links are in the description to my Twitter and Twitch. Give me a follow on both of those platforms if you have not already done so. And until next time, guys, have a good one. Take it easy. I'll catch you next time. Why do I feel like the series is only going to go a couple more episodes until we get screwed over?